Hello friends, welcome to my channel, Goodreads Self-Growth. Today, we are going to tackle something that I think every single person listening right now has battled with. And I don't mean battled with in the past tense. I mean, you might be battling it right now while you're listening to this.
It's the universal struggle. It really is. It's the silent thief.
The silent thief. That's exactly it. You know that feeling when you're running a race, your legs are pumping, you're sweating, you're exhausted, but you look around and realize you haven't actually moved an inch.
Yeah, the treadmill feeling.
It's that treadmill feeling, or maybe it's that sinking feeling at like 10 p.m. when you realize the day is gone. It was stolen, and you have absolutely nothing to show for it.
And it is a painful realization, isn't it? That feeling of where did the time go is. It's really a symptom of a deeper issue.
Right. And to help us catch this thief and, reclaim our lives, we're doing a deep dive into the book, Stop Wasting Time. End Procrastination in 5 Weeks by Garland Colson. And let me tell you, friends, the core promise here is huge. This isn't just another list of hacks or tips to make you work faster.
No, we're not just talking about buying a nicer planner.
Not at all. It is a structured 5-week roadmap to actually ending procrastination, not managing it, ending it.
It's a bold promise, certainly. But what makes Colson's approach different, and why it's worth this deep dive, is that he backs it up with a very specific psychological approach. He argues that we have been looking at productivity all wrong for decades.
How so?
Well, we think it's about time management, right? We're always looking at clocks and calendars. But he argues it's actually about emotion management.
Emotion management. I love that distinction. It shifts the blame from I'm bad at math to I'm bad at feelings, which oddly feels more solvable.
It does, because feelings can be understood and worked with.
And before we get into the how-tos, we have to set the scene properly. Because the book introduces us to a character that I think we all know. In fact, I think I see him in the mirror every morning. Tell us about Arav.
Yes, our Arv. Arav is the everyman of this story. He is the mirror for all of us. I want everyone listening to really picture this scene because I guarantee you have lived it.
I certainly have, probably this morning.
So imagine it's a Saturday morning, the lighting is perfect, maybe a little sunlight streaming through the blinds, it's quiet. Arav has his coffee, maybe it's a fresh brew, steaming hot, and he feels good. He feels capable.
That is the golden hour. The optimism is high. You feel like you could do anything.
Exactly. Arav has a plan. He opens his notebook and he writes down 3 things.
Yeah.
Gym, meditation, and a new project he is passionate about. Maybe it's a business idea. Maybe it's learning to code. The intention is perfect.
He isn't planning to be lazy. He isn't planning to fail. He's setting himself up for a win.
No, not at all. He sits down with his laptop, feeling that little spark of hope. Today is the day I make progress. But then, the screen lights up. A single notification. Ping.
The sound of doom.
It's a new video uploaded by a favorite creator. Or maybe a news alert. And Arav thinks the most dangerous thought a human being can think in the 21st century.
Which is?
Just 2 minutes.
Oh, the 2-minute trap. I know it well. I'll just watch this one thing to get motivated, right? I'll just prime the pump.
Precisely. He justifies it. He thinks it will spark motivation or give him a quick break before the real work starts. But the book describes what happens next as a slip. It's like stepping on ice.
You lose your footing.
You do. 2 minutes becomes 10. Then the algorithm recommends another video. Then he checks the comments. Then he checks Twitter to see what people are saying about the video.
It's a cascade.
Yeah.
Total rabbit hole.
2 minutes becomes 2 hours. The coffee goes cold. The notebook remains closed. The sun moves across the room. And the worst part isn't just the lost time. It is the emotional aftermath.
Yeah, that's the real sting.
By evening, Arav is sitting in a quiet room. But inside, there is a storm of guilt. He feels like he betrayed himself.
That is the worst feeling. It's not just that you didn't do the work, it's that you broke a promise to yourself. You feel like a liar in your own life.
You do. And then comes the classic line we all say to numb the pain.
I'll do it tomorrow.
Which is the cycle. Tomorrow becomes this magical land where everything gets done. In our minds, tomorrow, Arav is a superhero. He has infinite energy and focus. But tomorrow, Arav never shows up.
Only today, Arav is ever there.
Exactly.
That is profound. We are always betting on a version of ourselves that doesn't exist yet. And this brings us to the core philosophy of Colson's book. We need to debunk a massive myth right now, right at the start. Arav didn't fail because he was lazy.
This is critical. If you take nothing else away from this discussion, take this. Procrastination is not laziness.
Wait, really? Because if I spend 2 hours watching cat videos or conspiracy theories instead of working on my spreadsheet, I definitely feel lazy. I feel like a sloth.
It feels like laziness. And society tells us it's laziness. It's a moral feeling.
A character flaw.
But Coulson and a lot of modern psychology argues that procrastination is an emotional regulation problem. It involves fear, confusion, and a lack of clarity. We don't avoid the task. We avoid the uncomfortable feelings associated with the task.
Okay, let's unpack this.
Yeah.
Because this changes everything. So when I'm avoiding that spreadsheet, I'm not avoiding the data entry.
No, data entry is neutral. It's just typing. What you are avoiding is the boredom, or the fear that you might mess it up and look stupid, or the anxiety that the numbers won't add up and you'll have to deliver bad news.
So my brain sees the spreadsheet as a threat, like a predator in the wild.
Exactly. Your brain is a survival machine. It's designed to keep you safe from lions and tigers. But in the modern world, it interprets stressful project as a lion. So the amygdala, the fear center, lights up. It screams, abort, find safety.
And what is safe?
Yes.
In that moment.
Social media is safe. Scrolling is safe. It is easy. It is predictable. And it gives a quick hit of dopamine. It comforts the anxious brain. It is not self-indulgence. It is a misguided form of self-protection. You are trying to soothe your own stress.
Well, that actually makes me feel a little better. It's not a character flaw. It's a biological glitch. I'm not broken. I'm just miswired.
It is a glitch we can fix. But we can't fix it with shame. Shame just makes the stress worse, which leads to more procrastination. It's a vicious cycle.
Right.
That is why we need a system. And that is the mission of this deep dive. We are going to walk through Coulson's 5-week roadmap to transform you from an Arab, stuck in that guilt cycle, into what the author calls a time warrior.
I am ready to be a time warrior. That sounds much better than time waster.
Yeah.
So let's start the clock. Week 1, this creates the foundation. The book calls this the hidden enemy.
Week 1 is all about diagnosis. You cannot fight an enemy you cannot see. As we just touched on, the hidden enemy is that internal resistance. It is the anxiety, the fear of judgment, or even just the sheer overwhelm of a large task. But what is fascinating is that Coulson breaks this down further. He identifies 5 specific procrastination styles.
I love these kinds of frameworks because
Yeah.
it helps to put a name to the behavior.
Yeah.
It stops being this vague, I'm lazy thing and becomes, oh, I'm doing that pattern.
Exactly. It gives you a handle on it.
So let's run through them, and I want everyone listening to see which one resonates with them. The first one is the perfectionist.
The perfectionist. This is a very common one among high achievers.
I feel called out already.
This is the person who will not start until the conditions are flawless. They are terrified of making a mistake. They will research for weeks, edit the first sentence of an email 100 times, but never actually ship the product.
I do this with writing. All right. Hi, everyone. Delete it. Hello, team. Delete it. Creed, delete it. It's exhausting.
And that exhaustion is the point. You are burning cognitive fuel on the wrapper, not the candy.
So what's the deep down fear for the perfectionist?
It's judgment. They believe that if it isn't perfect, it's worthless. And by extension, they are worthless.
Wow. Okay. So what's the fix for them? What's the motto?
The motto for them needs to be, done is better than perfect. You have to separate the drafting phase from the editing phase. Give yourself permission to write a garbage draft.
Garbage draft. I like that. Make it bad on purpose just to break the seal. Okay, who is next?
Then we have the worrier. This is slightly different from the perfectionist. The worrier is paralyzed by what-if scenarios.
The catastrophizer.
Totally. What if I fail? What if it's not good enough? What if I look stupid? What if the client hates it? For them, procrastination is a safety blanket.
Right, because if you never finish it, the client can't hate it. You can't get judged.
Exactly. If they don't start, they can't fail. It's safer to stay in the realm of potential than to risk the reality of execution.
That makes so much sense. It's a defensive crouch. Which leads us to the third type, one I think a lot of creative people relate to. The dreamer.
The dreamer is fantastic at the vision board. They can design the logo. They can imagine the launch party. They can tell you exactly how successful they will be in 5 years.
They love the idea of the thing.
They love the idea of being a writer or an entrepreneur, but they struggle with the grind, the messy, boring execution details.
They want the result without the process. They want to be the author at the book signing, not the guy alone in a room struggling with chapter 4.
Precisely. They get their dopamine hit from the fantasy, so they don't feel the need to do the actual work.
Okay, number 4, the crisis maker. This one sounds familiar.
The adrenaline junkie. The crisis maker believes the lie that I work better under pressure.
We've all heard someone say this, or we've said it ourselves.
Oh, yeah. I can't write the paper until the night before.
I used to say that in college. Diamonds are made under pressure. I thought it made me sound cool.
It's a compelling lie. And the truth is, they do get it done. But Coulson warns that this leads to long-term burnout. You are fueling your work with cortisol and stress hormones. It's sustainable for a sprint, but not for a marathon. Eventually, the body crashes.
Yeah, that's living on a biological credit card. Eventually, the bill comes due. And finally, the fifth one, which I think is really interesting psychology, the defier.
The defier is the rebel. They resist authority, even their own.
What does that mean?
If they set a schedule for themselves, they almost immediately want to break it because it feels like a loss of freedom. They view tasks as obligations rather than choices.
It's like an inner teenager, right? You can't tell me what to do.
Yeah.
Even if the you is their own Google Calendar.
Exactly. I won't do the dishes because I have to. It is self-sabotage as a form of autonomy.
Yeah.
They would rather fail and be free than succeed and feel controlled.
That is deep psychology right there. So for week 1, the solution isn't to buy a planner or download an app.
No, not at all.
It's awareness.
Just awareness. Correct. The solution is to pause when you feel that urge to delay. Don't just mindlessly open your phone. Stop and ask, what emotion am I avoiding right now? Is it fear? Is it anger? Is it boredom? Is it resentment?
And what does knowing the emotion do?
Moving from I can't do this to I am avoiding this because I feel bored strips the power away from the procrastination. It turns a monster into a nuisance.
Awareness is the first step. You have to name the beast to tame it. But we can't just analyze our feelings all day. We need to move to action. That brings us to week 2. The book talks about the physics of productivity.
Yes. This is where we flip the script on motivation. Most people think, first I get motivated, then I take action.
I wait for inspiration to strike. I wait to feel like it.
Coulson says that is scientifically backwards.
Backwards. But I definitely work better when I'm motivated. It feels so much easier.
Of course it feels easier then. But if you wait for motivation, you will work about 10% of the time. The reality is, action creates motivation, not the other way around.
So you have to put the cart before the horse. Is that what you're saying?
In a way, yes. Think of your mind like a stagnant pond. If the water is still, nothing happens, no energy. You need to throw a pebble in to create ripples. Action is that pebble. Once you move, the ripples of motivation follow.
I like that. So you have to force the first moves. You have to overcome that initial resistance, that inertia, and that leads to the big hack of week 2, the 5-minute rule.
This is perhaps the most effective tool in the entire book for breaking inertia. The concept is deceptively simple.
Break it down for us.
The brain fears big mountains. If you say, I need to write a thesis, the brain panics. It sees a Mount Everest of effort. But if you say, I will write for just 5 minutes, the brain says, oh, I can do that. That's easy.
It's a trick, right? You're tricking your brain into lowering its defenses.
It is a cognitive trick, yes. A Jedi mind trick on yourself. You lower the threat level. You tell yourself, I will do this for only 5 minutes, and if I want to stop after that, I can. I have full permission to quit.
And do you quit?
Almost never. Here is the magic in the chemistry. Once you overcome that static friction, the brain releases a little bit of dopamine because you are achieving a micro goal. The anxiety drops. The resistance fades. And 90% of the time, that 5 minutes turns into 25 or 60.
There's a story in the book about a student that illustrates this perfectly. Can you share that?
Yes, the student who simply couldn't get himself to study for a massive exam. He was failing, spiraling into that aura of guilt we talked about.
Paralyzed.
Totally paralyzed by the size of the textbook. He decided to try this rule out of desperation. He sat down, opened the book, and set a timer for 5 minutes. He told himself, just 5 minutes, then I play video games.
Low stakes.
Yeah.
Very low commitment.
Very low stakes. But when the timer went off, he was in the middle of a paragraph. He thought, well, I might as well finish the page. Then he finished the page and thought, this chapter isn't so bad. Then he finished the chapter. He ended up studying for 3 hours. He realized later that the start was the only hard part. The work itself wasn't the monster. The idea of the work was the monster.
The start is the only hard part. I'm going to put that on a sticky note. It's like jumping into a cold pool. The anticipation is torture, but once you're in, you just swim.
Exactly. You just swim. The water's fine.
So let's recap. Week 1, we identified the enemy, the emotional root. Week 2, we learned how to start the 5-minute pebble. Now we are moving into the mechanics. Week 3 is about structure. The book calls this the power of systems, or superstructure.
This is where we move from psychology to architecture. We need to build a framework for the day, because here is a hard truth. Environment beats willpower every single time.
That's a strong statement.
Yeah.
Environment beats willpower. Can you explain that?
Think of willpower like a battery. You wake up, and hopefully it's full, but every decision you make drains it. What should I wear? Drain. What should I eat for breakfast? Drain. Should I answer this email now or later? Drain. By 2 p.m., the battery is dead.
And that's when the diet fails or the procrastination kicks in. You just don't have the energy to fight anymore.
Correct. But design. Design is permanent. Design doesn't get tired. If you design your environment, you don't need willpower.
The example from the book was great. If junk food is in the fridge, you will eventually eat it. It's just a matter of time.
Right. And if the phone is on the desk, you will eventually check it. You can't fight gravity forever.
So stop fighting gravity and change the environment.
Exactly. You are fighting a losing battle against your environment. The superstructure is about building a day where the decisions are already made for you. It relies on 3 pillars.
Let's hit them. Pillar 1, time blocking.
Time blocking is assigning a specific job to a specific hour. This is the death of the to-do list.
Whoa, the death of the to-do list. People love their lists. They get a little dopamine hit from checking things off.
Lists are actually dangerous without a calendar. A list is just a menu of things you could do, which creates decision fatigue. Should I do A or B? Time blocking puts it on the calendar. From 9 a.m. to 11 a.m., the calendar says deep work, report. When 9 a.m. comes, you don't ask, what should I do? The decision was made yesterday. You just execute.
It's like putting your day on rails. You just ride the train. Okay, that makes sense. Pillar 2, task grouping or batching.
This addresses the high cost of context switching. Every time you switch from writing an email to checking Slack to working on a spreadsheet, your brain burns energy to reorient.
It's mental whiplash.
It is. It's like a car engine starting and stopping in heavy traffic. It wears out the starter.
And we do this hundreds of times a day without even thinking about it.
We do. Batching means doing all similar tasks together. Checking email only twice a day, maybe 11 a.m. and 4 p.m., doing all phone calls in 1 hour block. It keeps the engine running smooth. You stay in communication mode or analysis mode without the friction of switching.
That requires some discipline, but I see the payoff. It's about efficiency. And pillar 3, which is a classic productivity staple, eat the frog.
Based on the Mark Twain quote, he said, if the first thing you do each morning is to eat a live frog, you can go through the day with the satisfaction of knowing that that is probably the worst thing that is going to happen to you all day long.
So do the hardest, most important, most dreaded thing first.
First thing.
Why first? Why not save it for when I'm warmed up?
Because of the battery. In the morning, your energy is high, your willpower battery is full. Do not waste that prime cognitive time on emails or admin. Use it for the thing you're most likely to procrastinate on. If you eat the frog first thing in the morning, the rest of the day tastes like ice cream by comparison.
I love that. You carry a sense of victory all day. I already ate a frog. This meeting is nothing.
Exactly. And speaking of visuals, the book emphasizes actually visualizing this roadmap.
You mean like on a calendar?
Yes, seeing the structure reduces anxiety. When your brain sees the blocks on a calendar, it relaxes. It knows there is a time for everything. I don't have to worry about the laundry now because there is a block for laundry at 5 p.m. It frees up your RAM to focus on the task at hand.
Okay, so we have our structure. We've built the rails. Now we need to budget our fuel. Week 4 is time budgeting, the matrix, and the 80-20 rule. This is about being smart with the hours we have. Let's talk about the Matrix, and no, not the movie with Keanu Reeves.
No red pills here, though. This might wake you up just as much. This is the Eisenhower matrix, supposedly used by President Eisenhower to organize his tasks. It helps us sort the chaos by distinguishing between 2 very different things, urgent and important.
We often treat them as the same thing, don't we? If my phone rings, it feels urgent and important. If an email pops up with a red flag, it feels critical.
But usually, it's just urgent. It's loud, but not valuable. The matrix has 4 boxes. Box 1 is urgent and important. These are crises, deadlines, a crying baby, a house fire. You have to do these now.
Box 1 is the fire alarm. You can't ignore it. It's reactive mode.
Right. But if you live in box 1, you burn out. Now, box 2, this is the holy grail. Important, but not urgent.
Give me some examples of box 2. What lives there?
Exercise, skill building, strategic planning for next year, relationship building with your kids or your partner, writing that book. This is where growth happens. This is where success happens. But here is the trap.
What's the trap?
Because it isn't screaming at you, because it isn't urgent, it is the easiest box to ignore. You can always skip the gym today. You can always write the book someday.
The time warrior lives in box 2. They make time for things that don't scream. They are proactive.
That is the definition of success. Then we have box 3, urgent but not important.
This one sounds trippy.
These are the interruptions, other people's priorities, the email that demands a reply right now but doesn't actually advance your goals, the meeting that could have been an email.
The deception zone.
Hmm.
Feels like work, but it's just busyness.
Yeah.
The goal here is to delegate or minimize.
Exactly. And box 4, not urgent, not important.
This is the bad stuff.
This is the time-wasting stuff. Doom scrolling, gossip, mindless TV. This is the trash can. Delete it. Or at least confine it to a very small recreational box.
Delete box 4. Got it. Now, connected to this is the 80-20 rule, or the Pareto principle. How does this fit into stopping procrastination?
It highlights that being busy is not the same as being productive. The principle states that roughly 20% of your activities result in 80% of your desired outcomes.
And the other way around, too, right?
Yes, conversely, 80% of what you do only contributes 20% to your results.
That is staggering when you think about it. Most of what we do doesn't matter that much.
It's humbling. The goal of week 4 is to identify that high-value 20%, the tasks that actually move the needle, and double down on them. Everything else needs to be ruthlessly eliminated or delegated. We need to stop feeling proud of being busy. Busy is often just lazy thinking.
Ouch. Busy is lazy thinking.
Mm.
That's a powerful statement. But there are enemies to this focus. The book calls them time bandits.
Time bandits. These are the thieves we mentioned earlier. External ones like notifications, or that colleague who always says, "Got a minute," and takes 20.
We all know that person.
And there are internal bandits too, like the urge to multitask.
So what's the immediate defense against these bandits? How do I protect my box 2 time?
The focus timer, often called the Pomodoro technique. You set a timer for 25 minutes of pure work, followed by a 5-minute break.
Why 25? Why not just work until you're done?
Because you are treating focus like a muscle. You wouldn't go to the gym and try to lift 500 pounds for 4 hours on day 1. You train in sets. 25 minutes is manageable for the brain. It's a sprint. It protects you from the bandits because during that 25 minutes, the rule is absolute. No interruptions.
So phone off, notifications, silence.
Phone in another room, preferably. If a thought pops up, you write it down and keep working. You are training your brain to stay on track.
It creates a sacred space for work, a fortress of solitude for 25 minutes.
Ideally, yes. And over time, you can extend it. 50 minutes work, 10 minutes break. But start small.
Okay, friends, we have diagnosed the problem in week 1, learned to start in week 2, built a system in week 3, and budgeted our time in week 4. We're at the final stage. Week 5. This is where it goes from a to-do list to a way of life. Week 5 is the mindset of a time warrior.
This is the identity shift. And this is crucial because you cannot permanently change your behavior if you don't change how you view yourself.
What do you mean by that exactly?
If you walk around saying, "I am such a procrastinator, I am so lazy, I'm always late," you will act according to that belief. Your subconscious tries to align your actions with your identity. It's a self-fulfilling prophecy.
So if I keep telling myself I'm messy, I'll keep leaving my clothes on the floor because that's just what messy people do.
Exactly. You'll think, well, that's just who I am. Week 5 challenges you to start saying, "I am a time warrior. I own my time. I am the type of person who finishes what I start."
It sounds like a simple affirmation, but it's about reprogramming the operating system of your brain.
It is. You act like the person you believe you are. If you believe you are a warrior, you fight for your time.
But even a warrior gets tired. How do we keep this up? The book talks about keeping motivation alive.
Motivation is not magic. It is maintenance. Zig Ziglar used to say, "Motivation doesn't last. Neither does bathing. That's why we recommend it daily."
I love that. You have to scrub your brain daily.
You do. The book suggests tactics like weekly reviews, looking back to see how far you have come. Often we look at the gap between where we are and where we want to be, and we feel bad. Coulson says, measure the gain, not the gap.
Look at the mountain you climbed, not just the peak you haven't reached yet. I like that.
Exactly. Celebrate small wins. Did you do 2 Pomodoros today? Great. Celebrate that. Create positive feedback loops in your brain.
And the other point was reconnecting with your why.
Yes, most importantly, why are you doing this task? If the task has no purpose, you will procrastinate. If you are just doing data entry for no reason, your brain will rebel. But if you see that data entry as a step toward your financial freedom or toward building a company that helps people, that fuels the tank, you need to visualize the bigger picture.
And there was one more point in week 5 that really touched me. It felt almost counterintuitive for a warrior mindset. Self-compassion.
This is critical. Listeners, please hear this. Failure is part of progress. You will slip. You will have a day where the system breaks, where the kids get sick, where you end up watching videos for 2 hours again.
The old era of will return for a visit.
Yes. And the old you would beat yourself up, feel guilty, say, I'm a failure, and spiral into a week of bad habits. The time warrior says, okay, that happened. I forgive myself. That was a moment, not a lifestyle. Let's get back on track right now.
Guilt drains energy. Self-compassion restores it. That is so important. We are too hard on ourselves. We think whipping ourselves will make us work harder, but it just makes us injured.
Correct. Be a kind boss to yourself. You wouldn't speak to an employee the way you speak to yourself.
That's for sure. Okay, that is the 5-week roadmap. But the book was packed with some extra practical tools, a bonus toolkit, if you will. I want to highlight 3 specific habits mentioned that really stood out to me. The first one is plan tomorrow today.
This is the evening ritual. Before you go to bed, spend 10 to 15 minutes planning the next day. Write down your top 3 priorities.
Why at night? Why not in the morning when I'm fresh?
2 reasons. 1, it prevents morning decision fatigue. If you wake up and have to decide what to do, you waste that precious morning energy. You want to wake up and execute.
Yeah, right, do it.
But 2, and this is fascinating, your subconscious works on the plan while you sleep.
The night shift.
Yes. If you give your brain a problem to solve or a schedule to visualize before sleep, the neural connections consolidate. You wake up with a strange sense of clarity because your brain has been processing the logistics all night.
It's like getting free work done while you snooze.
It absolutely is.
I'll take free work any day. The second tool is the art of saying no.
This is a hard one for people pleasers, but no is a complete sentence. We often feel we need to justify it. I can't come because my cat is sick and my car.
Right, a whole long story.
No, just no, I can't make it. Or thank you for thinking of me, but I can't.
Why is this a productivity tool? It sounds more like a social skill.
Because every time you say yes to something trivial, a committee you don't care about, a coffee date you don't want, you are saying no to your goals. You are saying no to your health, your rest, or your deep work. Time is a zero-sum game. You have to filter every request through your goals.
It's an act of self-respect. If you don't value your time, nobody else will.
Precisely. You teach people how to treat you.
And the third tool, which we hinted at earlier, single tasking.
We have to kill the myth of multitasking. It is a lie. The brain cannot do 2 complex cognitive tasks at once. It can only rapid switch. You aren't multitasking, you are task switching. And it's incredibly inefficient.
And what's the cost of that? What's the damage?
It destroys your IQ and your efficiency. That research I mentioned earlier. It can take up to 23 minutes to regain deep focus after an interruption.
Wow. 23 minutes. So if I check my email every 10 minutes.
You are literally never in a state of deep focus. You are operating at a shallow cognitive level all day.
Skimming the surface of your own potential.
Exactly. The discipline is doing one thing at a time, close the tabs, put the phone away, be here now.
Be here now. That really sums it up. It's about presence.
It does. It's mindfulness applied to work.
We have covered a lot of ground today. We went from Arav's cold coffee and guilt to understanding the emotional roots of our delay. We diagnosed our styles. Are you a perfectionist or a dreamer? We learned the 5-minute rule to trick our brains into starting. We built a superstructure with time blocking. We sorted our life with the Eisenhower matrix. And finally, we shifted our identity to become time warriors.
It is a comprehensive journey. It moves from the internal emotional state to external systems and then back to internal identity. It hits every level.
And I want to leave our listeners with a final thought, something to mull over. The book ends with a really provocative idea. Time management isn't about becoming a robot. It's not about squeezing more work into the day so you can just do more work.
No, that's the path to burnout. It is an act of self-care. It is about reclaiming your life. When you stop wasting time, you aren't just productive, you are free.
Free for what?
You are free to spend that time on what truly matters, your dreams, your health, your joy, your family.
It's about owning your life instead of letting it slip through your fingers like sand. So, here is the question for you listening. When the sun rises tomorrow, will you let the day run you or will you run the day?
That is the ultimate choice every single morning.
It is. Friends, if you enjoyed this deep dive into Stop Wasting Time, please subscribe to my channel, Good Read Self-Growth. We have so many more deep dives coming your way to help you level up. And if you are ready to make the shift, I want you to leave a comment below right now. Just right. I am a time warrior. Seal that commitment.
Do it. Make it real. It's the first step.
Thanks for listening, friends. Don't waste the next hour. Go be a warrior.
Goodbye.
See you next time.